Good morning, friends, and a very warm welcome back to Centerlink Alert, the channel that keeps you informed about every critical update affecting Australian retirees, pensioners, and senior citizens. If you've been hearing whispers about a massive change coming to the age pension, I need you to stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you today could genuinely transform your retirement income. Service Australia has just confirmed something extraordinary, something that's sending shockwaves of relief and excitement through communities right across our beautiful country. There's been official confirmation of a substantial boost to the Centrelink age pension, and let me tell you, people are calling this one of the most significant improvements we've seen for older Australians in years. We're hearing reports of a 65% increase in monthly pension payments, and I know that might sound almost too good to be true, but stick with me because we're going to break down exactly what this means for you. Whether you're currently retired, approaching retirement, or you're supporting a loved one who depends on the age pension, every single word in this video matters to your financial future. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about this increase, who's eligible to receive it, how it's going to affect your current payments, the exact steps to check your new balance, and most importantly, when you can expect to see this higher amount landing in your bank account. Now, before we dive into all the details, I want to ask you for a quick favor. If you haven't already subscribed to Centerlink Alert, please hit that subscribe button right now and make sure you turn on the notification bell. We publish crucial updates like this one every single week, and we pride ourselves on explaining complex government changes in clear, straightforward language, just like you're having a conversation with a trusted friend or family member around the kitchen table. All right, let's get straight into it, because what's unfolding right now has the potential to make a genuine difference in how you live your retirement years. When you first hear the number 65%, it honestly sounds massive, and that's because it absolutely is massive. Let me help you understand what this actually means in real dollar terms that you can relate to picture this scenario. Before this adjustment was announced, your monthly age pension payment might have been sitting around $1,600. Now, with a 65% increase applied to that amount, your new monthly payment would jump to over $2,600. That's an extra $1,000 in your pocket every single month. For couples receiving the pension together, this increase could push your combined monthly payments to well over $3,900, depending on your individual eligibility and where you sit with income and asset thresholds. Now, I want to be completely transparent with you. These figures can vary from person to person, and Service Australia has made it clear that the exact increase you receive will depend on your specific circumstances, including your income level and the assets you hold. But here's what we know for certain. For the vast majority of retirees across Australia, this boost is going to bring meaningful, tangible relief to your daily life. What does that actually mean in practical terms? It means you can finally breathe a little easier when those bills arrive in the mail. It means you won't have to make those heartbreaking choices between buying fresh groceries and paying for your medications. It means you might actually be able to afford that trip to visit your grandchildren interstate, or perhaps you can finally book that dental appointment you've been putting off for months because you simply couldn't afford it. The reality is that the government and Service Australia have been facing mounting pressure to address the genuine financial struggles that older Australians have been experiencing. Independent reports have revealed a sobering truth. More than 1 in 3 retirees are relying solely on the age pension with little to no additional savings or income sources. At the same time, we've all watched as inflation has steadily eroded our purchasing power. Electricity prices have skyrocketed to levels we never thought possible. Rent and housing costs have climbed dramatically, putting enormous pressure on seniors who are renting. Even basic grocery items, from a simple bottle of milk to a kilogram of meat, have become significantly more expensive than they were just a couple of years ago. In recent years, the government has been adjusting pension payments through smaller indexation increases, typically ranging from about 1 to 3%, and these adjustments happen twice a year. But this time, we're looking at something completely different. This adjustment is far greater than anything we've seen in the recent past, and government officials have described it as a long overdue correction designed to ensure that the age pension genuinely keeps pace with real living costs. This isn't just about moving numbers around on a spreadsheet. This is fundamentally about dignity and fairness for senior citizens who have spent decades contributing to Australian society, building this country, raising families, paying their taxes, and supporting their communities. This increase represents a recognition of their immense value and an acknowledgement that they deserve to live a stable, comfortable life in their retirement years without constant financial anxiety. Service Australia has indicated that these new payment amounts will begin appearing from the next payment cycle following the adjustment period for most retirees. What that means in practical terms is that these higher amounts could start showing up in your bank account within the coming month. The exact payment dates might vary slightly based on your individual payment schedule, whether you receive your pension fortnightly or on a monthly basis. To find out precisely when your updated payment will arrive, you can log into your MyGov account online, navigate to your Centerlink payment summary section, or you can call the Service Australia helpline directly for personalized assistance. Here's something really important that I want to emphasize. You don't need to reapply for this increase. You don't need to fill out any new forms or submit any additional documentation. This adjustment will be automatically applied to all eligible pensioners. That means if you're already receiving the age pension, you'll simply notice more money appearing in your regular deposit without needing to do anything at all. Eligibility for the age pension continues to be based on the same general criteria that have always applied, including your age, your residency status in Australia, and the income and assets tests currently. The qualifying age sits at 67 years old. If you're 67 or older and you meet the residency requirements, which means you've lived in Australia for at least 10 years with at least 5 of those years being continuous, then you're likely eligible for consideration. The actual size of your payment will be determined by your income and asset situation. The fantastic news is that this increase applies to both full-rate pensioners and part-rate pensioners, which means even those of you who are receiving partial payments will see a benefit from this adjustment. If you're unsure about where you currently stand or how this might affect your individual circumstances, Service Australia is actively encouraging retirees to use the age pension calculator available on their website. This free tool allows you to estimate your new payment rate based on your current financial circumstances, giving you a clear picture of what to expect. This boost isn't limited only to single pensioners either. Couples, whether you're married or in a de facto relationship, will also see your combined payments rise substantially. Additionally, people receiving carer payments and disability support, pensioners who have reached pension age, may also see flow-on benefits as the government adjusts various related support categories to maintain fairness across all programs. For carers who are providing full-time support to elderly family members, this increase can genuinely be life-changing, allowing you to manage household expenses with significantly less financial stress. Similarly, seniors who are receiving Commonwealth Seniors Health Cards or Pensioner Concession Cards will continue to access all the associated benefits that come with those cards, including heavily discounted prescriptions, reduced transport costs, and lower utility bills. These concessions further stretch the value of your higher pension payment, giving you even more financial breathing room. The pension payment isn't just about the main payment amount either. Many retirees also receive additional supplements that add up alongside the base pension. And with this latest update, those supplements are being reviewed and adjusted as well. Rent assistance thresholds and energy supplements are being carefully examined and adjusted upwards, which means those of you who are renting privately or facing high utility costs may receive even more help on top of the base increase. The overarching goal here is crystal clear: to ensure that Australian retirees aren't just barely surviving from week to week, but are actually living comfortably with enough income to manage all your essentials without constant anxiety and stress. Right across Australia, from major cities to regional towns, the response from retirees has been overwhelmingly emotional. In community halls, senior centers, and family gatherings, there's been an incredible feeling of relief, gratitude, and validation. Some pensioners have said it's about time this happened. Others have expressed genuine tears of joy, sharing stories about how this boost will finally allow them to buy proper, nutritious groceries instead of living on basics, or afford that crucial dental care they've been putting off for years. Even younger Australians have acknowledged that this is a positive and morally right step, ensuring that their parents and grandparents, the people who literally built this country, are properly looked after in their later years. While this increase clearly represents a major win for retirees, it's also an important part of a broader economic plan. Service Australia has emphasized that supporting seniors financially actually boosts local economies because pensioners spend more on goods, services, and community activities. This spending directly helps small businesses thrive, from your local grocers to pharmacies to cafes, creating a positive ripple effect of economic stability and job support throughout entire communities. In this way, the pension increase isn't merely a social policy decision. It's also functioning as an economic stimulus that benefits everyone, from individual pensioners to entire communities and the broader Australian economy. Now that we've covered the background of this historic age pension rise, let's dive deeper into the specific details because I know many of you have been writing to us asking questions like, how exactly will this increase show up in my account? Will it affect my supplements? What about my rent assistance? And what happens to my concession cards? I'm going to walk through each of those questions carefully, step by step, using plain, everyday language that makes sense. The age pension increase doesn't come from just one single government decision. It's actually the result of two key mechanisms working together in tandem. First, there's the indexation formula, which is designed to ensure that pension rates rise in line with both wage growth and inflation across the economy. Normally, this indexation process happens twice a year, specifically every March and September. But this time around, the change was significantly amplified by an additional government measure that's been called a retirement income support correction. This correction was specifically designed to offset the recent dramatic surges we've seen in energy costs, housing expenses, and medical costs. That's why the rise isn't just the usual 1 or 2% that we typically see. Instead, retirees are seeing a substantially large step up, which represents a recognition that the cost of living has moved much faster than earlier adjustments could possibly handle. Every pension amount is carefully reviewed using three important benchmarks. There's the Consumer Price Index, which you might know as the CPI, then there's the Pensioner and Beneficiary Living Cost Index, abbreviated as PBLCI, and finally, there's male total average weekly earnings. The way the system works is that whichever of those three benchmarks gives the highest number becomes the new base for the next payment period. For this particular increase, all three of those measures rose quite sharply, but the Pensioner and Beneficiary Living Cost Index jumped the most dramatically. That index specifically reflects how much essential items like groceries and power bills have increased for older Australians, which is why Service Australia recalculated payments upward by such a substantial margin. Let me give you some concrete examples to illustrate what this means in your bank account. If you're a single pensioner who was previously receiving around $1,600 per month, the new 65% increase brings that payment up to approximately $2,640 per month. For a couple who were together receiving roughly $2,400 per month, your combined amount would now be close to $3,960 per month. Now, I want to be clear that these figures are estimates designed to give you a general picture, but they really help show just how meaningful this boost actually is. We're not talking about a few dollars here and there. We're talking about hundreds of extra dollars every single month that can cover fresh fruit and vegetables, petrol for your car, or that long postponed dentist appointment that you've been avoiding because of the cost. Service Australia's newly released payment tables show that these higher payments will appear automatically in your next payment cycle, and they'll be clearly labeled on your statement with wording that indicates adjusted pension rate. Many retirees also receive additional forms of assistance like rent assistance, the energy supplement, or the pension supplement. I've got good news for you. Those payments aren't being cut or canceled as a result of this increase. In fact, they're also being reindexed so that their relative value remains the same or even becomes slightly higher. For example, if you're receiving rent assistance because you're renting privately rather than owning your own home, that rent assistance amount will also rise in proportion to your new pension base. This careful calculation ensures that you're not accidentally pushed over an income threshold that would reduce or eliminate your other forms of help. The energy supplement remains a fixed weekly benefit that's specifically designed to help you pay for rising electricity and gas bills, and these supplements are also under active review for upward adjustment to match the new pension base amount. So, in the simplest possible terms, this major increase doesn't take away your other supports. It adds on top of them, giving you a comprehensive increase in your total income. Many viewers have been asking us the critical question: when exactly will these higher payments start arriving in my bank account? The official rollout schedule that's been published shows that the updated pension amounts begin from the first full payment period after the official indexation date. What that means in practical terms is that if your regular payday falls in the first week of the next month, you'll likely see the higher rate reflected in that payment. Some pensioners will notice a slightly higher first deposit, followed by consistently larger amounts in all subsequent payments after that initial one. To confirm your specific payment details and timing, you can log into your MyGov account online. Once you're logged in, go to the Centerlink section and click on Payment and Claims, then select Manage Payments. Right there on your screen, you'll see your current payment rate, all your supplements listed separately, and the total amount that's scheduled for your next pay date. If you're not particularly comfortable using computers, or if you don't have internet access, that's absolutely fine. You can also visit your nearest Service Australia service centre in person, where staff can help you understand your payments, or you can call their support line directly. They can even mail you a printed breakdown of your new rate if that's what you prefer. Now, I know that not everyone receives the full age pension. Some retirees receive what's called a part rate pension, which means you have some income sources or assets that reduce your payment amount under the means test rules. The positive news that I want to share with you is that these part rate pensioners will also benefit from this adjustment. The income and asset thresholds that determine how much you can earn or how much you can own before your pension gets reduced are also increasing. What that means in practical terms is that if you have modest savings, some shares, or perhaps a small rental property, you might now qualify for a higher rate of part pension than you were receiving before. In some cases, you might even become eligible for the full pension for the very first time because of these adjusted thresholds. Self-funded retirees who are not currently receiving the age pension but who hold Commonwealth Seniors Health Cards will also see flow-on benefits through adjustments to income limits. These changes help you retain valuable concessions even if your investments are yielding slightly more income than they were previously. Besides the federal pension payment, each state and territory government in Australia offers its own senior concessions program. These valuable programs include rebates for electricity costs, council rates, water bills, and even vehicle registration fees. With these new, higher pension levels coming into effect, some state governments are currently reviewing their concession thresholds to ensure that seniors don't lose their eligibility for these important benefits simply because their income from the pension has increased. Financial counselors who work with seniors are describing this increase as restoring breathing space to retirement. Seniors who once had to skip meals or cut back on food quality to pay for power bills may finally feel comfortable again. There's also an important mental health dimension to this change that shouldn't be overlooked. Financial stress is consistently identified as one of the biggest causes of anxiety, depression, and social isolation among retirees. With a steadier, more adequate income, seniors are far more likely to participate in local clubs, perhaps travel a little to visit family, or simply enjoy their day-to-day life without that constant nagging worry about whether they can afford their basic needs. This income increase also brings with it an excellent opportunity to review your personal budget and think about long-term financial planning. Financial advisors who specialize in retirement planning recommend that seniors take some time to look at how to use these extra funds wisely and strategically. Perhaps you could consider setting aside a portion specifically for medical or dental needs that you know are coming up. Maybe you could create a small emergency fund that gives you peace of mind for unexpected expenses. If you're receiving a substantially larger amount and you're not quite sure how to manage it optimally, I'd strongly recommend speaking to a Centerlink Financial Information Service Officer, often referred to as a FIS officer. These professionals offer completely free guidance on how your savings, investments, and pension supplements all interact with each other, ensuring that you don't accidentally make a decision that could affect your future entitlements negatively. And here's something really important to remember. This increase is not a one-time bonus payment that you receive once and then it's gone. This becomes your new baseline payment amount, which means that all future indexation adjustments will be calculated on top of this higher base. Your gains will compound over time, giving you even more financial security as the years go by. The government has publicly stated that this major adjustment is part of a much broader retirement support roadmap that they're implementing. Future phases of this roadmap are expected to focus on improving access to quality aged care services, expanding digital literacy programs specifically designed for seniors to help you navigate online services more easily, and reviewing rent assistance thresholds again later in the year to ensure they remain adequate. So while the 65% boost is making headlines today and is absolutely the main story right now, there are more gradual improvements that could follow in the months and years ahead, ensuring continued stability and support for years to come. If you're a retiree watching this video right now, I want you to take a deep breath and really let this sink in. You've earned this moment. This isn't charity or a handout. This is recognition of your contribution. For decades, you've paid your taxes faithfully. You've built communities from the ground up. You've supported the next generation through your work, your volunteering, and your presence. This new age pension increase is Australian society's way of saying thank you. We see you, we value you, and we genuinely care about your well-being in these precious retirement years. Thank you so much for watching this important update here on Centerlink Alert. If you found this information helpful and valuable, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button right now. It really helps us reach more Australian seniors who need to hear this news. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you never miss another critical update about your pension, benefits, or entitlements. And please take a moment to leave a comment below telling us what city or town you're watching from. It helps us understand how far this message of good news is reaching across our great country, and your engagement genuinely helps us continue sharing updates that matter to your life. Stay informed, stay empowered, and we'll see you in the next video. Retry.